20 years old. Where the heck has time gone? I'm a grown man now. I remember when Half-Life came out. Vaguely. I was a little tight. I was probably 3. I was still getting my diaper changed. I was a late bloomer. I figured instead of writing out a video essay and putting together a bunch of beautifully edited clips of why Half-Life was so good and what made Half-Life so good and design which has already been done to death. We already know why the game is so good. It's been out 20 years. I figured we could talk about what Half-Life means to some of us. Sort of reminisce a little bit. I would love to hear your stories in the comments, because it's not just the game. When I think of Half-Life, I don't just think of the game itself for me, because to me it was a lot more than that. Think of your favorite music artist, or your favorite TV show, or even, heck, a favorite YouTuber. All these things, particularly if they're your favorite, they can have a huge impact on your life. Not just the experience of listening to that one song, but the fact you carry it around in the back of your head, or that YouTuber you watch, you think about them through the day. Maybe something they say changes something in your own circuitry of your brain, and things are just a little bit different. You're not the same person as having after watched that influencer or having listened to that song. And for me, as playing Half-Life changed everything. As grandiose as that sounds. Playing through it at that time, and just experiencing the atmosphere of it, experiencing the excitement. Something about Half-Life is just so unique, in my opinion, as a first-person shooter. Just the feel of the game. Not even necessarily the gunplay, the gameplay, the story, just the feel of it. And particularly at that time when Half-Life came out, late 90s, early thousands. Whew. It was just an incredible time for PC gaming, in my limited memory. I'm only 23, but I think you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone who's played through Half-Life at that time who didn't say that it was an incredible gaming experience. And in fact, one of the biggest reasons for me and many other people for falling in love with gaming at all was because of Half-Life and because of Valve. So why did that make that much of an impact? Well, let's start with the beginning. First, there was the incredible game part of it. And then, somehow, Valve managed to electrify a community. This community of people who loved this game weren't just fans of the game. They were also creators. And Valve was so smart to release a world editor and to make their engine easily enough to mod that it fostered this community of creators who made their own games for Half-Life, some of which are on Steam now, like Counter-Strike, Team Fortress, and a lot of those early games that have now just, captured a huge amount of people's attention and love. All started because of Gabe Newell's little fantasy of Valve and the releasing of Half-Life 1. And because I loved gaming, or at least playing Half-Life so much, I remember finding out that there was an editor where I could make my own levels, quote unquote, my own Half-Life experience, and I hopped on that like freaking white on rice. For an introverted nerd, it gave me a place to express my own creative energies. It gave me something to get good at, which was creating gaming experiences and creating levels. And I, through that, met so many other people who were interested in the same thing, which was making great levels, making great experiences. There was all kinds of different creators. There's writers for these mods. There's graphic artists. There's level designers, sound engineers. While I wasn't necessarily the most popular kid at school at all, I was able to find friends and like-minded individuals, all based on the foundation, which was Half-Life. And I can never thank Valve enough for that, because it taught me how to take criticism.
It taught me how to be useful to a team.
I was able to make people happy. I was able to, in moments where maybe life wasn't so great outside of my home, or like maybe school sucked, or I don't know what, getting bullied, I'd always be able to come home and talk to people and make friends through Steam, through the modding community, and just be a better person to some extent. As nerdy as it sounds, I really don't even give a shit. You know, it's just the truth. I would not be the same person if it wasn't for Half-Life. And it's just crazy to say just all the memories of playing through mods. I would be in school and just writing on my notebook ideas for levels, or you know, just late night surfing in Counter-Strike. You know, playing with friends, Gary's mod. These are some of my favorite memories of my childhood, and I can't thank Valve enough. And I think Valve just gets such a bad rap. They definitely left us hanging. It's okay, you know. I'm focusing on the good in this instance. Well, who knows if we'll ever see a Half-Life 3. For me, it's not necessarily as important. I would love to see it, but it's not too important. What's important is the memories that I'll always cherish in my heart to some extent. It sounds so cheesy. It's just, I'm just being honest. I wouldn't have my YouTube channel as popular probably as it is now, because I made a lot of Half-Life videos, and you know, through that I've got to meet so many amazing people, including you guys. I've been able to meet I've been able to work on projects that have succeeded or failed. You know, we all remember Hunt Down the Freeman. Oh God. Through all of it, I just have to say thanks, Valve. Like, thank you for creating such a wonderful universe, not just the game itself, but the universe, the community around it, fostering that. You've had some mishaps, some missteps, but I don't care. It's been such a wild ride, and to think it's been 20 years since it came out is just a little scary. That said, it's sort of just rambling video. I didn't really have any ideas going into this. I just turned on the camera and started talking. But if you have any stories, experiences similar to that you want to share in the comments, go for it. I'd love to read it and see what positive experiences you guys have had through Half-Life as well. It's interesting to me. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and happy birthday to Half-Life. And hopefully we'll be saying happy birthday to another installment of Half-Life at some point in the future. We can always hope, right? Anyways, signing off. Bye.